Hey folks, and welcome back to another episode of DGS2 Case 4. So, we have discovered that Gregson has been murdered, and the suspect at this point in time is Baroque Van Zeeks. We are now heading into the crime. We're gonna go check out the crime scene now, to figure out what exactly happened, and if Baroque actually did commit the crime. I'm still shaken up about the whole thing. I'm sorry. It's the same day, unspecified time, Fresno Street apartment. In this little corner of a cheap lodging house town outside of London, in a back alley with little foot traffic, in an old dusty room for rent, was the crime scene. So this is the room where Gregson-sama was murdered. Yeah, and it looks like the police investigation has just begun in earnest. I don't see Holmes-san around. Yeah, didn't he say he was gonna go off and investigate immediately? He might be conducting a different sort of investigation.
You there! What are you doing? You better put out all the drawers, dump them out, and investigate the undersides too! Make sure you search the space under the ceiling, and among the ashes in the fireplace too! Oh, honestly, haven't any of you ever turned over an empty house for cash after a moonlight flight?
Oh my god, Gina. Gina-san seems to be directing a very unique sort of investigation.
Oh, flying aside the show, did ya? I just read myself, though.
Hi there, Gina-san.
You just missed Holmes. He really mucked things up. He appeared as suddenly as the wind, messed the crime scene up like the wind, and vanished again like the wind.
Oh, Holmes. What? He's already finished his investigation here?
Even I didn't feel like I could say anything to him.
Gina-san, do you mind if we investigate the crime scene too?
Say, Naruhodō. You're a defense attorney, right?
Yeah, that's right.
You wouldn't be planning on helping the Grim Reaper. Helping the killer, would you?
What? Gina-san. Looks like she still hasn't managed to put that trial behind her. A word, if I may, Gina-sama. If Lord Van Zeeks really is the murderer, then I believe the British judicial system will judge him according to his crime.
I guess you're right. Investigate, Naruhodō! I want to know what really happened!
Thank you so much, Gina-san. Bless her. It hasn't been that, well, I guess it's been 6 months, right? But, 6 months ago, Gina was in that the defendant seat, where Baroque is, and I'm sitting here wondering. I know Gregson is dead, but is she also wondering? Was he really the killer? A fireplace but no fire always looks so cold, doesn't it? This fireplace appears to have a thick layer of dust on it. I'd venture a guess that it hasn't been used in a long time. In other words, the person who lives in this room is abnormally resistant to the cold. Either that, or they didn't live here at all, and only visited when they had something they needed to do. One of the two. Yeah, it's gotta be one of the two. I think Susato's onto something here. Oh, there's a standing picture frame here. Perhaps it contains a photo of Gregson-sama's family? What's wrong? Your eyes look like they might pop out of their sockets. This is... Naruhodō-sama, look at this, quickly! Huh? Why do I get the feeling that I've seen her somewhere? Pull yourself together! We just met her! Oh! Mrs. Dame Watchin! But what's a photo of her doing here? To be honest, that's the part about this crime scene that's the most baffling to me. Yes, I suppose so. A framed photo found on the desk at the crime scene. A photo of a younger Mrs. Dame Watchin smiling. Okay. Why is that there? This appears to be a partitioning screen. But it's got papers plastered all over it. Oh, look at this, Naruhodō-sama. This is an autopsy report. And these are investigative materials. Even records of inmates currently in prison. They all look like the sorts of things only a detective could get their hands on, don't they? What the heck is this room? There are newspaper clippings as well. Naruhodō-sama, this one here. This looks like an ad. Invitation to the Red-Headed League. What's this ad doing in a place like this? Perhaps this room's owner was interested in it as well? This can't be coincidence, okay? This is stuff we already had discussions about and we didn't think it was anything relevant, but now, what's going on? Excuse me, may I have a moment? I can't see anything through these blasted tears. Maybe we should just let him have a good cry for a while. Oops. I missed the crouching purse officer. Oops. I'm willing to bet that this was the murder weapon. Is this a real gun? I'm not sure. We don't get the opportunity to hold real pistols back home, after all. Go on, Naruhodō-sama. Fire off his test shot to find out. That's a terrible idea. If I did that, I need a skilled defense attorney of my own. Maybe I should try asking someone who knows about guns. Naruhodō, didn't you pick up a gun, like, literally in the first case of the first game? The murder weapon. A pistol found lying on the floor at the crime scene on Fresno Street that was used as the murder weapon. And I like to avoid touching it if at all possible. Totally understandable. Excuse me, may I have a moment? I can't see anything through these blasted tears. Maybe I should just let him have a good cry for a while. Oh my god, these poor cops. Okay, Huh? What's this? It looks like a London beat officer. It's kinda cute. The fact that it was lying here must mean that it belonged to victim, maybe? You're right. I can't imagine Lord Van Zeek's owning a toy like this. It's a little figurine, about 8 centimeters tall. Maybe it fell out of his pocket? Well, we found it, so we might as well make a note of it, just in case. Good idea. It's kind of cute. Policeman figure. A small figurine of a policeman found at the crime scene on Fresno Street. It's kind of cute. I like how they added that little note. This must be the victim's outline? Yes, they likely laid the rope down so that it mimicked the shape of the victim's body. It looks like they already carried Detective Sama's body away. I bet Dr. Sif would have been the one to examine it normally. As far as I can tell from the shape of the rope is laid in, the victim died curled up on his side. What's wrong, Naruhodō-sama? Your face looks a touch green.
No, it's just... Even just seeing that rope outline made me imagine a terrifying scene. And look, there's a little blood on the floor too.
I suppose you're right. Perhaps this actually makes a person imagine something more fearsome than seeing the real body.
Susato-san sure is strong. Actually, there's something that's been bothering me this whole time.
Yes. Me too, actually.
This is a wig, right?
Yes, you're right. And not only that, it's a bright red wig.
So then, does the fact that it's lying here mean that Detective Gregson was wearing it?
And this blazing red color.
Yeah, I feel like we just saw this color somewhere recently.
Yes, I'm incredibly curious.
Was he responding to the Redhead League ad or something? Red wig! A bright red wig found lying on the crime scene on Fresno Street. Maybe it belonged to Detective Gregson. Also, saying red wig is really hard. Together, those two words together is hard. I don't know why. Look at this candle holder. One of the candles burst open.
Yes, there's wax splattered on the wall behind it.
It must be because it was hit by a bullet?
It could have passed through Gregson-sama's body and hit the candle. That seems the natural explanation.
Ooh, thinking about it that way makes this wax look like blood. Candle holder. A candle holder fixed to the wall of the crime scene on Fresno Street. One of the candles burst open. Excuse me. May I have a moment? Master Gregson, I'll see the future of the yard for you, alright? He seems to be pondering something very serious. These windows were roughly boarded up after the glass broke and fell out. Maybe they can't even be called windows anymore.
But the windows in Soseki-sama's room were blocked with bricks. These might be better, since light can still get...
Let's just leave it at that, shall we, Susato-san? I know he doesn't live there anymore, but it still makes me feel sorry for him.
This is a cute little figurine, but his head looks a little worn.
Setting his cuteness aside for a moment, you're right. There's quite a bit of damage to the head. Almost like it's been grabbed and manipulated over and over. Huh.
Shall we try grabbing and manipulating it too?
Whoa! This...
As far as I can tell, it looks like a simple key.
It's pretty small. Probably not the key to a door. Wonder what it goes to. Policeman figurine. A small figurine of policeman found at the crime scene on Fresno Street. If you twist the head, a key pops out from the bottom of the feet. This is a key, right?
Yes, probably. A very small and simple key.
A policeman figurine that happened to be hiding a key, huh? Wonder what it's for. That's what I want to know. Where am I looking? I've always wondered what the underside of a wig looks like.
Somehow it seems very like you to be curious about the underside of things.
Could you not word it so that I sound like some kind of weirdo? You probably paint a bunch of bird lime on here before you put it on, so it doesn't blow off in the wind.
If you did that, I think it would be very difficult to remove.
There's a black stain left here.
It appears to be burnt up gunpowder.
So then, I guess the bullet must have hit it? I mean, the end of the candle is blown off.
Yes, perhaps that is what happened. It's quite unusual for crimes to be committed using guns back home in Japan, so I'm afraid I don't know much about guns.
If there was an exit point, then there should be a bullet hole somewhere in the wall, wouldn't there? Right? Maybe? Alright, we'll talk to Gina now. Detective Gregson. So why was Detective Gregson?
That's what I want to know. It's been about 6 months since I was released from the detention center. Well, I was a pickpocket, but I was thinking about becoming a detective.
And you were able to start job shadowing the detective thanks to Home-san blackmailing him, right? Blackmail. He just says it so casually!
Well, I guess. So I didn't really get a chance to learn that much about the boss, but apparently he was considered kind of a legendary detective at the yard.
Legendary?
Well, I heard he used to solve incredible cases like there were nothing back in the day.
Wow.
And since then, he's been pursuing cases completely by himself. The boss was investigating some cases that even the yard doesn't know about.
That sounds pretty extreme. I wonder what a legendary detective like that was doing in a room like this.
The boss respected the Grim Reaper, yet he... It's just horrible!
Respected?
The boss told me. He said, I really respect him.
Even though the rest of the world fears him and calls him the Grim Reaper.
That's precisely why, he told me.
So Detective Gregson respected the Grim Reaper, huh?
The boss also told me this. The Grim Reaper only goes after bad guys, so you just relax and live your life. Hearing that kind of helped me relax.
I see. The crime scene. So, about the crime scene, whose room is it?
Apparently, the name of the bloke renting it is Hugh Boone.
You? Boone-sama.
There's something about that name that makes him sound lighter than air.
But I guess no one knows who he is. So far, we haven't managed to get in touch with him.
No one knows who he is, huh? That's true. As far as I can tell from looking at this room, there don't seem to be any traces of anyone having lived here.
I'll say, we all came and pushed our way in, fired up to do a big investigation, but there's so little to investigate that we're sort of at a loss.
I had a thought.
What is it, Susato-san?
What if this Hugh Boone's real identity was Detective Gregson himself? What do you think of that?
Huh? What do you mean?
It's just that apparently Gregson-sama was conducting private investigations, so I thought perhaps he might be using this place as a sort of secret base.
I see. I hadn't thought of that.
Wow, you're really something! Actually, the yacht is pursuing that possibility as well.
Really?
When you look closely at this room, there are signs that might have been the case.
I guess we better do some careful looking too. The murder.
So that's where Gregson-sama had collapsed.
Looks that way. According to what I heard earlier, the boss was shot once with a pistol. The bullet passed through him and hits that candle holder.
True. One of the candles has been burst open.
And there was a pistol lying on the floor, right? That belonged to that Grim Reaper bloke!
What? Really?
How can you tell?
It's nothing to get that shocked about. But everyone's saying it. I don't know much about pistols myself. You should try asking someone who knows more about them. Like one of the higher-up police officers.
One of the higher-up police officers, huh?
Anyway, below that window is a Fresno Street pavement. And when the murder happened, some outdoor vendors had the gun shot.
Huh? But I don't see any such people here now.
Apparently, they are taken to the yard for questioning. I mean, the victim was a legendary detective. They're probably being put through the ringer right now.
Would it be possible for us to meet the witnesses?
Probably not. You two would probably put them through the ringer too, wouldn't you?
Guess this means we can't hear what the witnesses have to say, huh? Well, at least not outside of court. Alright, there's some stuff now we should present to Gina. Yes.
Ah, that's the case that I, Inspector Lestrade, already solved.
Wasn't it Homesan who called you to pick up those two criminals?
Now look here, Naruhodō. I've put a lot of effort into reforming myself from a pickpocket into a detective, you know? So a little sneaky credit stealing like this is cute, wouldn't you say?
I don't think that's something you should be saying about yourself.
Maybe Iris would start writing a new series if I asked her. The Adventures of Inspector Lestrade.
Okay, that's kind of cute. I think Iris might do that. Maybe. Alright, we're finished here for now. We might have to come back to here later on. But let's go ahead and talk to our defendant, Mr. Grim Reaper himself. The question is, will he talk back to us? That is a really sad thing to see him sit there. Same day, unspecified time, detention center. Solitary cell number 1. Prosecutor Van Zeeks.
It looks like what we heard about him having been arrested was true.
He's leaning against the wall, reading something. Prosecutor Van Zeeks! What a coincidence. Not only am I in the place I least want to be in the entire world, but the person I least want to see has come to visit me here. But I couldn't just not come. We heard about the case that that Detective Gregson was... Go home. This has nothing to do with you. Well,
If you permit me, that's not true. We owe quite a lot to Gregson-sama. At the very least, we'd like to settle this so that we can be without regrets. Please cooperate with our investigation.
I don't believe there's anything I can tell you, though. It looked like you were reading something at the back of your cell just now. Was it a document related to the case? You mean this? The yard isn't so lenient as to provide information about the case to the suspect. This is a letter from an acquaintance.
An acquaintance?
You know him as well. It's from Benjamin Dirtpour. I recall hearing that they were friends from their university days. Apparently I ought to just finish up with you lot as quickly as possible so I can read my letter in peace. I'll hear you out.
I wonder why. His words are as cold as ever, and yet I don't actually feel any coldness from Lord Van Zeek's.
Alright, let's have a chat. The murder.
Prosecutor Van Zeek's, please, tell us about the murder.
How much do you already know?
We know that the crime scene is a small room for rent and that Detective Gregson was shot there.
Also that you were in the room with him and you were arrested by the officers who arrived on the scene.
We know that there was no one else in the room with you two and that the witnesses heard a gunshot.
You're very well informed. I don't believe there's anything I can add that you don't already know. After all, I myself am not sure what happened.
Then, what about the gunshot? You didn't fire it, did you?
I can't say that shooting detectives I worked with is a hobby of mine. I heard the sound that rang out in that room, but before I could look into what had happened, I was arrested by the officers who arrived on the scene.
So he doesn't know what happened, huh? What were you doing in that room to begin with, Van Zeek-sama?
I don't need to answer that. God damn it!
Huh?
After all, you're not my lawyer.
His lawyer, huh?
You wanna bet? Your lawyer.
By the way, who's going to be defending you at your trial?
Someone other than you, I'm sure.
Wow!
Right.
So in other words, a decision has yet to be made, correct?
I'm certain no defense attorney wants to get involved in the trial of the Grim Reaper.
The Grim Reaper's trial?
Over the course of my career, 19 defendants have been declared not guilty in trials that I've prosecuted. Of those 19, 16 of them have met unnatural deaths. Perhaps I'll be made to answer for those crimes as well.
What?
I can assure you that this case is going to be an ordeal beyond that which any of those defense attorneys are capable of handling.
But hasn't it already been proven that you had nothing to do with those deaths?
10 years have passed since I earned the name Grim Reaper. No one desires to know the Grim Reaper's true identity more than me. However, perhaps I'll meet an end of my own before I ever get the opportunity to learn the truth.
My God.
So dramatic! Dirtpour's letter.
Dr. Benjamin Dirtpour. He said he was going back to Germany as soon as his trial was over, but
this letter was to assure me that he arrived safely. I arranged everything from his ship to his transcontinental railway ticket. This is quite a relief. Should be out of reach of the Grim Reaper now.
You mean that the Grim Reaper's influence doesn't extend overseas, correct?
Precisely. That hunchback Japanese man is living safe in the great Japanese Empire. That's what you told me the other day.
Yes, he's making a healthy living in the great city of Tokyo as an author. And that's why you sent Dr. Dirtport back to Germany, isn't it?
It is. Well, I believe I've run out of things to say.
All you did was stay silent for about 2 seconds.
Regardless, I'll be going now. I'd hate to hold you up.
Where are you even going in your cell? Prosecutor Van Zieks? If you'd like, would you consider letting me defend you?
Are you saying you're willing to believe in someone like me?
Yes. Since I arrived here in England, I've heard you speak in court so many times. That's how I know that you're not the type to kill anyone. I can't prove that right now with evidence or testimony, though.
I'm incredibly grateful. However, I don't believe in anyone.
Huh?
Not this country's judicial system, nor Scotland Yard, and especially not you Japanese.
Prosecutor Van Zieks.
I have no intention of asking you to defend me.
I'm sure you'll be singing a different tune sooner or later. There's a deep darkness lying between me and Lord Van Zieks.
I'd be grateful if you didn't return. That would be a waste of time for both of us.
I think I ought to dig a little deeper into the connection between Lord Baroque Van Zieks and Detective Tobias Gregson. That might soften them up if we look into it a little bit more, but we'll have to do that in the next video since we are out of time. So I will see you guys then.